Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Jen Sugarmeyer, your host of Mindset in the Morning, and we are here live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. But because it's what? YouTube? Yep, you can tune in whenever you would like. But we are here in the morning because we want to start our day just like that cup of coffee on the right foot, or that breakfast, whatever you're having, that first meal, that's the most important meal of the day. And this is to get your mind set on the right path, because the truth is we are faced with areas around mindset every single decision that we make throughout the day. Life is nothing more than a decision matrix, and we have a yes or a no. We can go this way, we can go that way, and we're always faced with choices and decisions. And how do we wrap our minds around things? Because this is where all the magic happens. So every decision, you are using your mind. And so when we know how to exercise our mental muscle, when we are able to navigate this world with ease, then we can do it in a way that it feels a little more comfortable. We aren't constantly at war with the world, or we aren't in these states of suffering, which we define as anything that doesn't feel good. That's fear, frustration, anger, resentment, anxiety. So the world can happen around you and you can stay in a state of peace. You can make that decision when you're aware of how to navigate your mind. So we talk about mindset in the morning so that you get started on the right foot. And I am Jen Sugarmeyer, your host. I am a certified transformation and leadership coach, and I love talking all things mindset. So that's why we get rolling at 6 a.m. every single day. So if you would hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear this message today, and you can help be part of a solution. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we are going to get rolling. So this week, so today is Thursday. This week, we've been talking about really how to make different choices. We talked about on Monday, the most powerful thing that you can ask yourself is, how am I feeling? And that's the best way to connect with yourself, is asking yourself, how are you feeling? Do you feel good in the situation? Do you not feel good? And then we talked about on Tuesday, once you know how you feel, ask yourself, does it serve me? Does it benefit me to feel this way, or to be doing these things, or to act this way, or to think this way, or to be around these people? Does it serve me? Is it putting me in a good frame of mind? And we already know, because we talked about on Monday, asking yourself, how do I feel? How does this make me feel? And so if there is a disconnect, if you are not feeling good, then you need to make a change. And yesterday we talked about choice mindset. And that is where I'm telling you, this is one of the most powerful things. If you can understand that you always have a choice, because sometimes we don't even acknowledge that we do have a choice. Well, I didn't have a choice when getting laid off. Okay, fair. You had zero choice in getting laid off. But what can you do now? Well, you, you can look at this as an opportunity. You can go find another job. You can go ask people if they need any help. Maybe this is your time to retire. Maybe it's your time to build that business. You can look at this situation that seemingly had no options, and you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be resentful. You see, that's that decision matrix. Something happens. Now what? And a lot of times, and I was one of these people, we find ourselves in a mode that isn't serving us best. So we may look at the situation and get really angry. Well, what other option do I have? I'm angry because I used to have a steady income and now I don't. And yet there are other options. And so yesterday we talked all about having a choice mindset. And sometimes a choice mindset is just letting go. I choose to let this thing go and not let it bother me. So, a lot of powerful things we've talked about this entire week. And today we're going to talk about making a different choice, and how does that not make a big impact on other people? So, how do we make different decisions when it could impact other people? So, you may find yourself at this crossroad and say, you know what? I need to pivot. These people are not benefiting me. Where I'm hanging out doesn't benefit me. The way that I'm thinking, it doesn't benefit me. And so you find that you are going to step out and make this change, but you're worried about what other people think, or you're worried about the impact that this is going to have on other people. And that's so absolutely valid. And a lot of, we're thinking about other people all the time. There's 8 billion people in this world. And I'm sure you've got people maybe that are living in your house, or that you work with, or your family or your friends, and how is this going to impact them? Now, some of these changes may just be in your head and they don't really impact anybody. But when you are used to operating in a certain way, the other people in your life are also used to you operating in a certain way. And so when you start to change, the people that are closest to you, they may notice. They're very likely to notice. And if it is something that impacts them, either a small amount or a large amount, this is where you may start to feel uncomfortable. And you start to get into your head of, how is this going to impact them? Oh, well, I don't want to shake the waters, and I don't want to make anybody feel badly, and so that keeps us where we're at, because we think about the way other people are going to act and respond. And that's absolutely valid. So how do we navigate this situation? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first and foremost, you are not responsible for how other people interpret the situation. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for how other people interpret a situation. We know that everybody can have opinions. And there are 8 billion people in this world. We're not going to be able to wrangle and control everybody's opinion about us. I remember one time my mom told me, she said, Jen, just like not everybody likes the president, or she said, it doesn't matter if you're the president or the priest, not everybody's going to like you all the time. So it doesn't matter who you are, what your position is. There's going to be something that you do that somebody either doesn't understand or they don't agree with. And so if we live our life for all of these other people, or if we are making a decision based on what we think everybody else is going to think, we're never going to win, because we're never going to get a consensus. So the best we can do is make a choice based off of the best that we know, the best information that we have at the time. And I always try to act doing the best that I could with what I had, always. And I come with a heart that was doing everything that I could to make the situation as great as it could be. It doesn't mean that I always make the best decision, but in that moment, in those moments, I was doing everything I could to be the best person I could, to make the best decision. And this could be in the workplace, this could be in the personal place. I never had any issues at work making a decision. And that's what they want in a leader, is someone that's going to go out and make a decision and be able to learn from if that wasn't maybe the best decision. I always encouraged my team to just do something, make a call, make a judgment call. And if you find that there's a better way of doing whatever it was, then pivot and do that. But you've got to step off that ledge, your comfort zone, and start making a change. And what you'll notice, once you move out in a direction, then the world is going to reform around you. So when you step here, it's like at a concert. Have you ever noticed at a concert when somebody moves forward and there's a little more space in between you and the person? What do? You move forward. I'm assuming that you're standing and not sitting in the seats. I find myself getting the cheap tickets and I stand. So if you're standing in a concert, or if you're standing at an event, maybe you're watching the parade, or maybe you're watching, a kid's basketball game or whatever. and the crowd moves up a little bit and all that space is there. So you move up. When you move, the world will form around you. It will make different decisions. It will align itself to where you are. So the scariest thing when we are making a new choice, a new decision is, how is this going to be received? And sometimes that can be hard for people when they're so used to seeing things or seeing you or situations operating in a certain way. It's like when a family goes through a separation, when two parents divorce, it is not easy a lot of times for anybody involved, the children, the parents, the families, the friends. But what happens? After time, people understand. People get used to the fact that this unit is no longer together. And that doesn't mean that you can't hang out with both parties. It means maybe you don't hang out with both parties together because they are separate. But the world will adapt. And sometimes that can be our biggest hurdle, is wrapping our head around the fact that, oh my gosh, how are people going to take this? Am I going to disrupt their life? But what's the impact if you don't make that change for yourself? Then you're in that situation. Then you continue to have those thoughts. Then you are around those people. Then you are in whatever suffering state and you don't get out of it. So we have to, although, yes, we are aware that other people are involved, it's realizing that you do not control the way they are going to interpret it. Not everybody is going to be in favor of that divorce. But would you stay together because of that? If it truly is impacting your life, if you are not able to move forward, if it is so toxic to you, if you have tried everything that you can to make that situation work and it's just not, then it's time to make a change. If you've done all that you can, if it is just not the right situation, would you stay in it for other people? The answer is probably not. You would make a change. And there are going to be people that agree with you, and there are going to be people that disagree with you. You may have an animal in your house, and you're thinking, this thing is destroying my house. I've taken it to go get behavior lessons and I try to train this thing and I love this thing, but this thing is so out of control. I can't do anything about this animal. And I have tried and it is causing me so much anxiety. It's tearing my house up. It's tearing my family up. It's tearing my couch up. Would you keep that animal? Or would you find it a home that maybe it's able to live on a farm and can go roam free? Maybe that's a better decision for the animal. And that's a decision that you make. And even though that is your decision and you've done all the best that you can with that animal, you've tried so hard, there are still going to be people that disagree with what you've done. So if you are living your life and making your decisions based off of everyone out for everyone else, then you're never going to have that consensus. You're just not going to win. Again, the same thing as my mom said, whether you're the president or the priest, not everyone's always going to like you. So you have to make decisions that are the best for you. Do the best you can. And then when you make that decision, it might be worth having a conversation with some people. As you're making these changes, talk to them. You don't have to talk to everybody. In fact, you don't have to talk to anybody. This is your life. But there are people in your close circle that are going to start to notice some changes. When I stopped drinking, I made this known to the people around me. Now, I was going through a lot of changes, and this took me a long time to stop drinking and it actually to stick. And so it took me some time. And when I finally, this was after 10 years, finally, after 10 years of my life, and I got to that point, I said, now is the time. And I started telling more people what was actually going on with me, why I was making the decision not to drink. And my conversation sounded different with people at work versus people in my personal space. And over time, this conversation has changed. But letting people know that you are making a change, you don't have to tell them why. Maybe it's appropriate to, maybe it's not. But being honest about where you are, we are such inquisitive people. We want to know answers. And if we don't have answers, we make them up. And that's how opinions start to get formed. And that's how rumors get formed. And so if we just tell people, if we have a level of transparency that you feel comfortable with, then maybe that's worth sharing. You don't have to. You owe nobody anything. And even still, people may not agree. When you tell them where your heart was, why you made that decision, where you were at, all the things that you are doing the best that you can with the knowledge that you have, you're still going to find people that say, I disagree. And that's okay. It's okay for people to have their own opinion. If they disagree with you so much that they now don't respect you as a person, then maybe it's time to not have that person around. You want people in your circle that are going to love and support you. And there are probably people in my circle that there are things that I do that they don't necessarily agree with. But do they still love you? Do they still accept you? And you figure these things out as you are making these pivots and changes in your life. You don't have to jump all in. It can be baby steps. But remember, what is a change for you may also be a change for them. So as it's taken you time to get to this point, it may also take this person some time to get to that point. You may decide that you being in this relationship is not healthy, and your kids may not understand now. It may take them some time to understand that you both made the best decision you could for not only yourselves, but also the family, because you didn't want to fight in front of the kids. And they may not understand that now, but in a few years they will. Or they might not ever get there, but you have to do what's best for you. So remember, you want to connect with yourself and ask yourself how you're feeling. You want to ask yourself, is this the best for me? Does this serve me? Do I feel good here? If the answer is no, then what's a different choice that you can make? And as you are making a different choice, how do you pivot effectively? And it's just one step in front of the other. It's not doing everything for everybody else, but doing the best that you can with the information that you have. And maybe it's having conversations with people that are around you. And maybe it's after you have those conversations, it's realizing that it's going to take them some time. So you have to allow these people some time to adapt. But as you step out, the world is going to move around you. If you don't make that change, what is the cost? You're going to stay in that state of suffering. What is that worth to you? It's not easy making changes. I get it. We get in our comfort zone. But this is where you are going to get in the driver's seat of your life, and you are going to start to live the life that you want. But it takes those changes. It doesn't happen by chance. And you can just step out slowly but surely. So we are going to end there today. As you are going out in the world and you are asking yourself those questions, And what are more powerful choices? Start to just wrap your head around what that looks like and what a small step towards your change will look like. And maybe who would you tell? Who would you want to tell? And your answer might be nobody. But who would you tell in your close circle that you're making these changes? So, with that, go be powerful, go be that person, go live that life that you know that you deserve. I am Jen Sugarmeyer. We're here live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I will see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Go be you, go be powerful. You can do it. Cheers.